Hello everyone. Good morning, you all.
Good morning.
Yes. Good morning. Very good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. I think today, if you guys feels my voice was not good, please bear with me. I have some throat infection. Okay. Okay. I think we will start. So, do you guys have any questions on our previous classes? Yes,
Because I think you were going to share something yesterday, but you didn't share. I think you were saying you were going to share some file or something.
Yes, I wanted to share that notebook on yesterday as well, but I'm facing some difficulty on the channel. So that's why I didn't able to make it. So yes, it was resolved now. So I will share after this class. Will that be okay for you all?
Yeah, okay.
Yes. Okay. I hope you guys don't have any questions. I hope you started practicing that whatever you guys have learned so far. Can I check that as yes or no? You guys have started practicing those things or not? Or you are still listening our classes and you are just kept that aside?
Now we are practicing. Mhm.
Nice. So once you start practicing, only you got some questions. Otherwise, you will never get any questions. So once you start practicing that codes, okay. So even coder always get errors. Okay. So coder always a bit and challenge and argue with those errors. Like, yeah, I'm right. And sometimes Python's right. Python told that, yeah, you are wrong. Sometimes you are arguing that, yeah, we are right. So we should identify what is the wrong. Is that from Python end or is that from our end? That's what we have to identify. That's what the challenge in the coding, right? Okay, then let's get started. Before going to start, I'll just share my screen for you all. So please let me know once my screen is visible. Can you guys can see my Jupyter notebook here?
Yes.
Yeah, so it is not going up. That's fine. Okay, so yesterday I just explained about some functions creation and lambda functions creation, and as well as we just started with Python built-in functions, right? What are the available Python built-in functions, like how we can use it, right? So in the same way, like by using that same built-in functions, how we can do that efficient coding using Python, right? So how we can achieve some certain goals by using these efficient Python built-in functions, right? If you know like how we are going to use that function in some other condition, you may can use that, right? If you're aware of like how we can use it, right? So these are the some of the functions which I am going to explain. That is open, enumerate, list, power, map, filter, and zip. I hope you guys are already aware of this list and power. Okay. Then I'm going to show some other Python built-in functions. You can see here zip. What do you mean by zip? I think you guys are already aware of zip format files, right? What are zip format files? It's a compressed type of files format. So more than one files can be zipped it, or one file also can be zipped it, and it is going to compress the size of that memory. occurrence of our folders or files, right? So once we are going to unzip that, so we are getting all the elements which is available inside of that zip folder, correct? So the name indicates the same things actually. Here it is a zip. So if you want to unpack one or more item from your data structures or data category, whatever it is, so you can use this zip. Let's say I'm going to give some examples. Here we have list 1 and list 2. Okay. So you have to unpack these elements like 1, 2, 3, 4. How we are going to unpack it? If it is a single list, so we are directly going to use for loop for iteration, and we are just taking each and every elements in a sequential order, correct? But if you have a two list, if you wants to unpack the values from this list 1 and list 2 parallelly, how we can unzip this one? So you can use zip functions. Okay, so I'm just executing this line of code, these three lists, and then I'm going to use a for loop now. I want to unzip these two values parallelly. How we can? For I in, I want to call both the lists together. List 1, list 2. Okay, I want to unpack all the values with this I, right? I want to print the values of I. See, as it is printing, right? As it is. Why? Because it is considered as this is a tuple format, because we are using this like parenthesis, right? So that's why this Python is get understand as uh, this is a tuple, and these are the two iterable object, that is list 1 and list 2. As it is printing list 1 and list 2. But I don't want to print in this way. I wanted to print 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 6, right, in the sequential order. How I can print it? So for that, you need to call up with a zip function. Zip is a function. You can use your whatever the values if you wants to unpack it. You can fill this zip function by using those values. Okay. Now I am going to execute this line of code. See here, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 6. So this one variable got that parallelly we are going to unpacking it like both the list 1, 2, 2, 3 like that. And if you really want to see, if you don't want to see it in a tuple format, if you want to see the individual values, then what you have to do? So if you are unpacking the two list, you have to provide two variables I comma j. In this way, you have to provide it. So let me execute this one. I comma j. I want to print. See, I values are 1, 2, 3, 4. J values are 2, 3, 4, 6. Right? And if you really want to print only I, you can print it. Or if you want, if you want only deal with a j values, that is list 2 values, that also you can execute it. So in this way, you can unpack one or more elements parallelly by using this zip function. Did you guys able to understand why we are going to use zip function? These are some multiple examples like how we can use this zip function.
How is it useful in like a live scenario? Generally, if we have this kind of variable, we'll use array to get the data. But here we are using GIF function. How is it useful?
Yes, good question. So in real-time scenarios, again, if you want to unpack the two columns together for any of the operations, how we were going to do that? Let's say here I'm going to take some small example by using unpacking two elements parallelly. What you are going to do? If I want to add these two list, okay. So one on with 1, 2 plus 1, 2 plus 3, 3 plus 4, 4 plus 6. And if you want a resultant data frame, how we are going to do that? Is it possible?
Mm.
Yes, it is possible by using, but you can just pass I plus j as it is, right? You can able to get it by using this parallel elements. How you are going to utilizing those things? right? Sometimes you have a column with an index position. If you want to print the index position as well, right?
Okay.
So, let's say if I want to print the index values this for list one and as well as list one values. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use a range of start with one and length of list two. What is it? So it is not yet completed. Okay, bad syntax error. See, uh, yeah, start with length of plus one, and I want to print I comma G. See guys, 2 is in first position. So I said like your position value should start with 1. See, 1, 3 is in second position, 4 is in third position, 6 is in fourth position. If I set this will start with 0, then what happened? The index position will start with 0. So 2 is in 0th position, 3 is in first position, 4 is in second position, and 6 is in third position. So in this way, so you just need to understand what this diff function is going to do. Whenever the situations comes in like with parallelism, if you really want to do some certain operation parallelly, so then you can use it, the zip function, and make use of that. They answered your question?
Yes.
Yep. Then so you may find some of the more examples over here by using that iteration, what we are going to do that. Okay. And then, yeah, so here is again a good examples. So here we have names. Okay, Vinay, Vijay, Rahul, Saurav, something like that. These are the roles. This is the data we have. This is the data we have. Python developer, Python code tester, and SAS instructor, and MPMT. Okay. And location, KGUMPPH. So we have this 3 set of data. So Vinay is a Python developer and from Karnataka. Vijay is Python code tester from Gujarat. Some Rahul is from SAS instructor from Madhya Pradesh. Saurav is from MPMT by BR. So you can just analyze if you really wants to print some statement like actually what like actually if you wants to print the candidate, that employee name with the role with the state is belonging. So how you are going to print it? So in this case, anyhow you have a dynamic statement that is actually roles is and is where is from, but you have to fulfill the dashes, that filling that blanks you have to fill it. How you are going to fill it? So in that case, you can see by using this zip function, um you can unzip the three list. You can unzip the three list parallelly, right? So Vinay Python developer K. So that's first iteration. What it is happening? So Vinay and Python developer and that Karnataka. It's coming as it is, right? With the dynamic sentences. So if you really wants to print these kinds of statement or these kinds, if you really wants to create a column with this text, let's say you have you are like you can imagine in perspective of a data frame. We have three lists. So you can consider this as three columns: names, roles, and location. So by using these three columns, you want to create another column like a description. Okay, description. So the description is full, should be filled with the statement of the candidate names and role and the location with the complete statement, with completing the statement with this actual format. So in this case, you can create a description column with these values. Okay, by using this zip function, you can easily do that instead of writing your complex logic. I hope in this point you guys are clear on why we are going to use this zip function.
Sir, what if
Yeah.
we do not give zip here?
Hmm?
What if we do not give zip here?
If you do not give the zip function over here, so if we simply call names, roles, and location, then Python is going to understand that these are the tuples. So first, like I think you know about BODMAS, BODMAS in mathematics, right? First, it is going to track the brackets, then off, then division. So like that, it is going right. So each and every calculations. So in the same way, Python is going to first taking that. So which kind of data structure it is. So if we are not provided a zip over here, so this will take it as a tuple. The sequence, the Python is going to understand that the sequence is a tuple. Why? Because this is enclosed within a parenthesis. If it is enclosed within a flower brackets, it is take it as a stitch. If it is enclosed within a square brackets, then it is take it as a list. So Python is going to take this as one sequence as it is. Okay. Then it is going to check what are the values we have. We have names, roles, and location. What is the values for these variables, names, roles, and location? This is this list. So what happened? So this name is going to print all the list together, and roles is again and the location as it is. In a 3 line, it is going to print this complete values in a iteration, right? So it is not going to unpack whatever we have inside of the list. It is going to print as it is list. Okay. So you guys can see over here, I'm going to print names, role, location. Oh, come on, what happened?
It is roles.
Too many, yeah, okay. It's too many values to unpack. See, this is going to unpacking only the values. It's not going to unpacking the whatever we have the values inside of the list. Right? See, this is a one list, second list, and third list. So it is going to understand that this is one value, second values, and third values. Did I answer your question?
Yes, sir.
So there is a value, there is a difference, right? By using, you can just think in perspective of Python. Python don't know about our mentality. He know only what we are given, what we are going to give, right? At this case, this is simply take it as a sample sequence. Instead of the sequence names, roles, location we have. In the first iteration, names printing. Second iteration, roles are printing. Then the third iterations, locations are printing. If we really wants to unpack the each and every values which is inside of the names, roles, and location, we should use a zip function. Then you guys can see Vinay Python developer and K. So I'm able to unpack the values inside of this lists. Correct? This is a good example for like how we are why we need to use zip function. Okay, then here in this example, what I'm doing, I'm just printing the list to, I'm just iterating list to values along with the index position. So how complex it is? So we need to use zip function. You can see how many functions which I used. Zip function, right? Range function and length function. 3 functions which I am used. So if we want to achieve the same thing, print the values, and if I want to iterate each and every values from any of the sequence or any of the data structure along with the index position, what I should do in this situation? So for that, we have Python built-in function that is enumerate. That is enumerate. So you can see here, I'm just going to print for I, comma j in, because I'm anyhow we are getting in a 2 values. Enumerate of list 2. Print I, comma j. See? So I'm going to, I can achieve the same result by using this enumerate function. So here you can see how many functions which I used. Only one function I can use. So instead of using the 3, Python built-in functions. So so here also it is proved that so to achieve the one things we have multiple ways in Python. You can use if you are aware of all of these multiple built-in functions, you may get a multiple solution for a single problem. Okay, this is what enumerate function is can do. Okay, so if you wants to iterate two lists together with this index position, how we are going to do that? So if I want to unpack the two list, what I should do? I should use a zip function first. Inside of that, I can call my lists, list 1 and list 2, right? What happened? One like list 1 values are 1, 2, 3, 4, list 2 values are 2, 3, 4, 6. Both are parallelly. I can able to iterate it. So I want to print the index position along with this. How I can? So again, you can enclose this entire function with enumerate. Enumerate. See, these are the I values. So now for enumerate keywords, you should give some variable, right? So again, I can use index means ind. So this I and j, I'm just close it with a bracket. Why? Because this I and j are list values. Enumerate is going to generate an index position, respective index position. So that's why I just call the variable as int. So I'm going to assign the same to print the value. See, int values are 0, 1, 2, 3. I values are 1, 2, 3, 4. J values are 2, 3, 4, 6. You can see in the first iteration, 0 is the index position it is taking. And list 1 values are 1 and list 2 value is 2. So in this way, you can iterate multiple, you can unpack multiple values with zip function, and you can assign the index position with using enumerate function. Is that clear? Yeah, I hope it was clear. So you can see now that enumerate functions and some good examples over here for using this enumerate functions. And we have multiple examples over here for enumerate. And yeah, you can see that manual indexing, how we can do that manual indexing. Okay, so the same things which we can achieve by using this enumerate functions. Okay, see how complex it is, how simple it is. If you know the things, it's very easy. Like from the enumerate also, you can assign the starting position. If you are really needs to start with 0, you can assign the start position as 0. If you really wants to start with a 1, you can start it as a 1. Okay, that's not the problem. Now, yeah, I think. Yeah, these are the multiple examples which we have. So I will share this notebook anyhow by today after this class. Maybe you guys can get it. Okay, what he said. Yeah, then another Python built-in function which I'm going to discuss, that is open. Why we should use this open? What do you mean by open? Open? Maybe we are going to open here in the data field. Maybe we are going to open some certain files, right? Which files we are going to open, what sort of files we are going to open, that we need to see here. Okay, so by using this open functions, we can only open txt files and some JSON files, JSON format. So we cannot open our data frames or Excel file something.
So just text files.
Yes, only txt files and JSON format. If you are aware of JSON files, So JSON files also we can open it, but we can't open that Excel files, CSV files or Parquet files by using this open function. Okay. So for
Even
that,
zip also, in case if zip file is there also, we can't, right?
no, we cannot open it. Zip file
Okay,
anyhow, we
next.
can't open that. So you have to unzip that first. It is
Ah,
actually compressed formats.
okay.
Python is not able to understand what you have inside of your zip folder.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, so how we can open this open functions? Okay. So if you have a one book, okay, how you are going to open it? Very, you can just say it in like what are the steps you are going to follow as a human. First, you are going to take that book, then you are just opening that pages and reading the content and storing in its memory and printing it, right? Printing it, right? So Python is also following the same thing. What is that? What are those things? First, they need to open the book, right? So for that, you can use open. So I have some sample.txt file in my local. Okay. So in open function can expect file, mode, buffering, encode, errors, new lines, close FD, opera, all these things. Okay. Don't worry about other arguments. So you can just concentrate on file and mode. Mode, like by default, it is R. R means reading mode. If you are specifying with an W, that is in the writing mode. Okay. If you mention it as an W and R both, it is in the write and read mode as well. Okay. So by default, it is in the read mode. So because we are not going to write anything for this file. So we just wanted to open that file. That's it. So how I can, so I need to provide a file path with file name. So I have this sample.txt file in my local. Okay. Then by default, it is anyhow, it is in the read mode. So I just open the file. So I have already written the code over here. We can use the same thing. So I just open the file. Now, it's time to read it. So I just open the book. It's time to read it. So for that read, so you need to use the read function. Otherwise, you can just see open file dot. Do we have any methods as available, or now it is not coming? I don't know why. Maybe. Yeah, you can see we have read lines. We have multiple functions over here. You can use it and you can just explore what is the meaning of those things. Okay. Once it is done, you can just read the content and store it in memory. In memory means you can store it in any of the variable name, that is content. Okay. I'm able to read it. I'm able to read the content. See now, let me print it. See, hello everyone. This was the contents which we have in our sample.txt file. So in these kinds of things, it is very helpful to use this open functions. Clear?
Yes, it is in our local, right? How come like system knows? You didn't give entire path, right? Where it is that file. You just provided just sample dash text.
Because my working directory and the file path for the sample.txt file both are same. Right? In the very
Okay.
beginning, I told it like how you can see your working directory. So in this documents ML folder only, I have the sample.txt file. See, this notebook
Okay.
and sample.txt both are in the same date, same location. So if not, then you should provide file path. File path means you can provide what is that? Document slash, in this way, how to provide it. Okay. Then once you read that string, you can do any sort of operations like a list. If you want to convert into a list or anything, you can do that by using this open function. Clear? So basically, if you want to open any of the file, you can use this open Python built-in function. Clear? Nice. So then another important Python built-in functions is filters. What do you mean by filter? Well, like if I said filter, well, like what are the points will comes into your mind? Hello, can you hear?
Yeah, I mean, within,
It will filter based
if we
upon
don't
the
want anything, we can filter it out.
Filtering
it,
means
it will basically test actually.
basically what is it?
So it will test if in the sequence everything is correct or not.
Okay. So basically the filtering means whatever the conditions which I'm going to give for that. So only it should take those values. Rest of the values, I don't care about. I want only some sort of values. That is the condition. Only I need to take those values. That we can say it as a filter on our data set, right? So I think you people are already aware maybe by using this Excel sheet. There we have a filter, right? So by using that filter, I'm just going to give the condition, right? This column is equals to these values only. So in that case, what happened? That Excel file is going to provide only the assigned values only instead of like like instead of providing that complete data, right? That is what the filter is. So here is also the same thing. The filter function is also doing the same thing. So in your sequence, if you really wants to uh, like extract the values only with some certain condition, that you can achieve it. Okay. So let's see what is the syntax. Filter is a function. Then inside of that filter, you have two arguments. That is function and the sequence. So then again, you can provide any sort of your functions, right? It means so you can provide the functions with the conditions. You can just convert your condition into a function, and here is the sequence. Means here is the data. Okay, this is the parameter and what I can say. This is the syntax for filter. Okay, let's see what is the parameters. That is function. Function that test if each statement, each elements of the sequence are true or not. So your function should return true or not conditions, right? Then sequence which needs to be filtered. It can be sets, list, tuple, or containers of any iterators. Okay. Then what it returns? It will returns that is already filtered. Okay. Returns the iterators that is already filtered. So this is some of the basic theory of that about the filter function. So let's see how it works. Okay, so here we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. What are these values actually?
Even numbers.
Even numbers. Okay, these values are belonging at what range of values? From value 1 to 10, right? Okay, so from 1 to 10, so these are the values which we have, correct? We have this list. Okay, so from this list, I want to print only the even values. How I can print it? This is the input which given by the user. So from this list, I want only the values of even values. How I can achieve that? What is the core logic to extract the even number?
What are the value is divided by 2?
Yes, the values is completely divisible by 2. Means that remainder should be 0. So in that case, we will take that as an even number, correct? So here also we can do the same things. I have already written the logic over here. You guys can see here, right? For I in this full list. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just passing an if condition. If I modulus 2, modulus operator is going to use to check whether those values are completely divisible by that assigned values or not. If that I modulus of 2 is equal to 0, it means if that remainder is equals to 0, then we are saying that as that is even number. If not, then we are called that as an odd number. Just a second. Yeah, these are the even numbers. If it is divisible by 2, I'm just creating a list with true. If not, I'm just creating a list with false. So let me execute this line of code. So what happened? So in the beginning only I told it. So our condition should be our in the true or false. The function should return true or false. So now I'm going to print this list. See, false, true, false, true, false, true, false, true, like that. So it means 1 is false, 2 is true. So parallelly you can see that. So you can see in this in this way, in this situation as well, we can use this if function. We can iterate the bool list and full list together by using this zip list, and you got to know and which values is true, which values are false in perspective of even and odd. Okay, this is what the thing. So by using like this is the things, but you need enough values. You need to filter this list based upon this condition. If the position value is true, then I need to save those values in any of the list in the list, right? That is what my ultimate goal, how I can achieve it. So to achieve the same things, I can, because this is a single expression, right? I modulus of 2 is equals to 2. So in that case, if it is a single expression, I can go with a lambda functions. Okay, you can see here lambda keyword, x is my values, x modulus of 2 is equals to 0. See, so this is my lambda functions. So if I provided for this function to any of what I can say, I'll just save this one with func. Okay, I will call this one with. So this is not going to accept a list or sequence, nothing like that. This will accept only one values. Okay, one argument. What I'll provide 1. See, 1 is false. Then 2 is true. Then 3 is false. So, okay, this is providing, yes, I have created a function that is providing in a true or false statements. Okay, so let me call this function with filter. Okay, so I have a sequence of 1 to 10. This is my sequence and this is my function. Wherever this resultant is true, then only I'm going to take those values. If not, it is not going to take those values if it is false. So that is what the filter function is doing. So let me call this function filter function. The first I need to define the func. So you can pass user defined function as well. Okay, it is not only like pass the lambda functions. No. Then I have to provide a sequence that is full list. See, it is executed and it is stored in its memory. This filter function always store the values in its memory. So I want to call up these values with any of the data structure. Either you can convert this into a list or tuple or set, whatever. So I'll just call up this with a list. See, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So I want to like filter function can able to identify the values. So and able to execute it. But we want to store those values in some of the data structure, right? In some of the bucket, some of the bowls, we have to store those values. So that bowl is nothing but the list here. See, I'm able to execute this 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. This is what the filter functions can do. So any questions here? These are the multiple examples which I can give in these notebooks. You guys can practice on that. Okay.
So lambda within filter,
So forget about lambda. So I said inside of the filter, you have to create your function that should return your condition, whether it is true or false. What do you mean by filter? Whether it is going to true or false. That is what, right? Your function should
yes.
return condition with the true or false statement. That is a function. If you are going to create your function with using lambda or a diff function, I don't care about that. If you are going to create a diff function within a single statement, that's up to you. But for single expression, it's good to have it in a lambda function. If you have any complex logic, it's your call. You can go with a user defined like diff function.
Okay.
Yeah. But here I'm directly added this lambda functions over here. Okay. Don't get confused. I just directly added this is actually the function. This is lambda function is an anonymous function, right? So I just added directly over here.
Okay.
Yeah. So see here that power, everything is can be possible for the filtering. Then if you're okay with the filter, we'll go with another efficient Python built-in function that is map. Okay. So this map and filter, the syntax was same. Okay. Map is also accept see function and iterable, that is sequence. Just a keyword is changed. Instead of filter, we are going to use map. It means this map function doesn't care about the condition. It's only taking it's taking consideration of all the values and doing some operation. So this will be very helpful when you are going to do all the operations for all the values. Some certain operations for all the values, irrespective of condition or logics or whatever. Let's say, consider you have a list for all the values you want to multiply with 3. If it is even number, if it is odd number, if it is 0 or negative, whatever it is, for all the data, if you want to multiply those values with 3, then how we are going to do that? We are going to create a for loop for I in something. We are going to write some sequence. Then inside of that for loop, we are just iterating that I values and multiplied by 3 and appending it to any of the empty list. This is what we are going to do, right? The same things which we can achieve by using this map function. Okay, let's see how we are going to do that. This is what the syntax it is. The list value we have till 1 to 10 we have. So how we can multiply each and every values? Like you can say, I just added a 2 multiplication. It means power. Okay, it means I square. How I can get the square values of all these values? What is the 1 square, 2 square, 3 square and all? So this is how we can achieve by using for loop. Okay, I'll just how I can achieve this one. See, square values of values from 1 to 10. Here it is. Okay, how we can achieve the same things by using Python built-in functions. Okay, so for that, anyhow, this is again single expression, single logic, single expression, right? I can call this lambda x, and what is the condition? X power 2, that is square, right? The lambda function's creation is done. This is my simple function. I can use it lambda. So now I can call this map function. The first argument would be function. Second argument would be a list values. A list values. See, this is also again executed and stored all the values, all the resultant values in its memory. To store all these values, we need some data structure, right? That is what I want to give. So I'm just going to give, convert all these things into list. See, the same things I may able to achieve in one single line. See, one single line instead of using this 3, instead of using this for loop. by using Python built-in function, that is map and list. This is what the beauty. If you know, if you guys are already aware of Python built-in functions and usage. Map and filter, maybe it makes some confusions. Don't worry. Map and filter functions syntax was same. It will accept two arguments. One is function, another one is in a sequence. Filter function can be used when your function is going to generate some true or false. Maybe based upon your condition, if you wants to extract the data out of that, then you can use filter function. Or if you wants to do a certain operation for all the values from your sequence, you can go with the map functions. Okay, map is going to map the values according with your functions creation. Okay, the name, that Python name indicates that their beginning meanings. What is the basic meaning of that functions? That's why that Python we are always call it as in a very high level programming language. Why? Because the name itself indicates what it is going to do, what it can be done, what it's going to achieve. Right? This is all about a Python built-in functions. So I think you guys are already aware of power, and I'm just going to delete it. Power, and some here we have multiple examples for a map function utilizations. Okay, any questions?
Map and filter is not same, right? See here, basically using power and lambda is like, how whatever you want, you are doing multiply. But power is like, it's like a square value to. And if you use map function, what it is doing is it just printing. But in the filter, it is filtering, right? How it is confusing.
Yeah, sometimes because syntax is same, right? So sometimes when you are creating in a functions, your function is generating some certain calculation instead of filtering. So then it makes confused, like where do I need to use map function or filter function? If you are not get confused, that's I'm happy on that. Okay, because what I seen from my previous experience of this training, some people may get confused. So do it, both are doing the same things. At the end, this is also generating in a list. This is also generating a list. But function is different. What if I shuffle the function? What if I shuffle the function? It may not be able to do that because syntax is same. That keywords is different. If you are not get confused, that's happy to know. Yeah. And then I want to show. Yeah, that's all about our Python built-in functions. So these are the most efficient and most useful Python built-in functions for your any of the project developments. Okay. So
If you use
we will-
only map, without any inside functions, like if I'm just passing some 1 to 10 values, and if I apply only like map, how it is going to print it will print everything, right? 1 to 10.
No. So map function will always expect two arguments. If you miss it to
Oh,
provide a function argument, then it will raise a error like you have just provide a function. It's a required
Okay.
argument. Function and sequence
Okay.
both are required arguments. So you have to write a function, like if you really wants to print whatever you have on the sequence. Let's say you are provided like values from 1 to 10 as a sequence, and if you are expecting that map function is also so print only from values 1 to 10. So you need to write a function accordingly to write the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same thing, filter also, it's mandatory to give 2 parameters, right? Maybe
Yes.
I'll compare. Okay.
Yeah. So maybe in your own, maybe also you can get it, that understanding whether what are the required arguments and all. Just going to see func. So do we have any default argument over here? Func is equals to, do we have anything? No, right?
Nothing.
No means it's a required argument. If you guys, whenever you seen some parameter is equals to some values or none, whatever it is, then it is an optional argument. then that function is not going to force you to provide that argument. See, as a iterable also, is it do we have any values like is equals to, is that filled with any of
No.
the other values? No, right? Then these both parameters are required. If you missed any of these two, it will throw error like something is missing. It may not be able to achieve its goal.
So in map function, we need we should have to pass the function mandatory, right?
Yes.
One parameter is the
Function and the sequence.
function.
Yeah. So think about why we are going to use this map. So we are going to use this map with, so I want to map those values with some functions. This is what the basic reason to use this map function, right? We have some certain values. I have to map those values with according to my function, like how my function I designed. So based upon that, these values needs to convert. So in that case, I have to provide values and functions both, right? Then only Python can able to map it. Then only Python can able to relate those two and able to provide the results. Did I answer your question?
Can you give me one real-time example in which scenario we are using the map function?
Actually, yeah, these are the real scenarios, like in machine learning model development, okay, in the back end of development. Okay, instead of using this for loop, so we need to avoid the for loop as much as possible, because see, for loop is in a sequential order. So once the particular like first row execution is done, then only it is going for a second row execution. Think about if it is going to do in the same way, how much time it will take to do like 10 iteration. One iteration for 1 second means 10 iteration for 10 seconds. So in that case, we need to avoid that for loop as much as possible by using our Python built-in function. And so this can, maybe this map and filter function can do that. Right here, I'm not going to do any iterations, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So map and filter function internally, it is going to assign those values and able to achieve the results. And it reduces the line of code which we are going to write. In a single line, I may be able to achieve the results. So if we say like real-time scenarios, actually these are the real-time scenarios. So whenever we need some sequence, whenever we need some certain sequence of data for my stats calculation, then what we have to do? So to generate those sequence, we are going to write a function for that. So to apply that function, we are going to use this map or filter function with some certain range of values. We need, let's say, for my any of the stats, I need a random sequence of odd number from range of 1 to 50. So in that case, how you are going to generate it? Are you going to use this for loop with 1 to 15 and printing the odd values and save it to any of the empty list? Are you going to do all these things? Instead of going to do that, you can just create your lambda functions or diff functions. Simple user defined function and use this map function. That's it, right? It's a simple job. So I'm just taking you all from scratch to higher level. So yes, we know that scratch level, that is for using that for loop. Yes, we understood, we know that. But along with that, you should to upgrade yourself that. So whenever it is possible to use Python built-in function, that standard way of coding, you can just implement that. So that's why so actually it's very easy to do that. Like it's your job to like explore all these Python built-in function. It's my job to provide that list of Python built-in functions which is available with the Python, and it's your job to learn how it is. So in that way, I also explained most of the Python built-in function, and I took some of the Python built-in function which may helpful in your future. That I took that list actually. These are the Python built-in functions are very important, right? So along with that, you have many more other functions which may not important. So I'm not going to say that it is not important. Some it is very rarely used, and situation is also very less to use it. So, okay. Anyhow, this sorted, set eater, you by the name itself, you guys can easily get it, what it is going to do, what it can achieve, right? The name indicate the name, by name itself, you may be able to get the answer, right? So, but some complex built-in function, I just explained it. Okay.
Got it.
Yeah. So
Thank
I'll
you.
take a pause now. So I will share this notebook after this call. Okay. You can just start practicing. Maybe in the next class, we will start with Python, very most important and interesting topic, that is data structure. So in the data structure, we are going to cover list, tuple, sets, and dictionary. And we are going to see what is the difference between these four data structures and what are the transformations which we can achieve, and all these things we can do that. That is actually the this is actually whatever we learned so far. This is a Python basics coding. Whatever we are going to achieve, discuss from the next classes, that is about data loading, the first step for data loading. Okay. So yes, we will see in the next class. Until that time, have a great day. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you.